All right. We are talking Eagles coaching staff. And most importantly, the three-headed monster of Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, and Kellen Moore. And it's about time that Eagles Nation starts putting a little bit of respect on the name Nick Sirianni. Got lots to talk about there. Guys, trending in the AM with all that, Eagles news, notes, opinions, Sixers, Phillies, baseball, random news. We got lots to talk about, guys. We're live in 30 seconds.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 woo!
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter, you know the drill, wherever you're watching. Smash those buttons, like, subscribe, follow, retweet, share, turn the notifications on, click the bell. Basically, any and all those buttons down below you see, please click them and help continue to spread the word of the STT Sports Network, setting the trends for what Sports Network should be. And, of course, Trending in the AM, the only morning show in Philadelphia you should be watching because it's the only one where your opinions actually matter. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it. That's where I'm at. And we're talking the Eagles coaching staff to kick things off today. Most importantly, Nick Sirianni. But this three-headed monster that they have built of Sirianni, Fangio, and Kellen Moore. And it's about time that we put a little bit of respect, in my humble opinion, on Nick Sirianni and his name. There wasn't a long time ago that Nick Sirianni was the brunt of the criticism in this city, despite his winning record. Nick Sirianni, in my opinion, is doing an excellent job this year coaching this Philadelphia Eagles team, despite all the noise. And I'm listening to him talk yesterday in his Monday after press conference, and I'm just sitting there listening to him. And he's not saying much. But from what he's saying, it made me start to think about the job he's been able to pull this year. And then on top of that, the job that Vic Fangio is doing, the job that Kellen Moore's doing. I don't think enough respect. And made me think, where is Nick Sirianni in the Coach of the Year odds boards on DraftKings or wherever you get your odds? He's 50-1. 13th, 14th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13th on the board in odds. Todd Bowles, Jonathan Gannon, Mike McDonald, Sean McDermott's having a great year too. Sean Payton, Dan Quinn, all better odds and more likely to win Coach of the Year than Nick Sirianni. And it really upset me a little bit. And I've criticized him from time to time, and I know his scripted plays aren't the best, etc. But the job Nick Sirianni is doing so far this year is way better than 99% of the NFL will let you believe, or the Eagles fans will let you believe. And I think it's time we start to accept the fact that Nick Sirianni is a pretty good coach. He might have his flaws, but he's a pretty darn good coach. So let's get right to the comments. We got a bunch from Duck right now, and I can only imagine what they say. Good morning to you, my man. Sirianni has decreased his clowning, but still interfering with the OC. Get off the scripted plays sooner when they don't work. They don't work. Yes, and I guess if he has one flaw, it is his scripted plays at the beginning of the game. And that's fine. We have a strong enough defense where we've been able to overcome that so far. But the clowning part, he's matured a little bit. And you know what? The record speaks for itself. I think this is a little overblown. And this is the problem, Duck. I think there's a lot of Eagles fans that feel this way, that he's the Forrest Gump of NFL coaches. But what is he as a head coach of the Eagles? 44-19. He's taken this team to the Super Bowl, to the playoffs all 3 years. What does Nick Sirianni have to prove in result that he hasn't already proven. Yeah, he might make us scratch our head in game. Andy Reid used to do that as well. Andy Reid's one of the greatest coaches of all time. So, and I'm not saying Nick Sirianni is Andy Reid, but Nick Sirianni deserves respect. Sirianni is a clown is why he will never win Coach of the Year. What makes him a clown? Him yesterday, what quote did I wrote down one of his quotes. He was talking about Kellen Moore and Kellen Moore changing his system. And he's like, that's what good coaches do. Very in control in the moments. Stay focused on the process. Yeah, he's got some cliche things. Relentless effort he talked about yesterday. Yeah, he says cliche stuff. It doesn't make him a clown. The fact that the Eagles are 10-2 of an 8-game winning streak just smoked the Ravens. And yeah, I'm going to use the word smoked. And he's 50-1 on the odds board? It's ridiculous. What's up, Mikey B? How you doing this morning? Eagles win despite a Nick. See, here we go again. But he is also a great fit for this team, and he's allowing his coordinators to coach while the players seem to like him. All he can be true at the same time. Yeah, and I get that. First and foremost, let's dissect the positive part of it. He does allow his coordinators to coach. I think he's learned that. The players love him. That is 100% true. But they win despite him. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think they win because he's a good coach. He might not be the perfect coach, but he's a good coach. A good coach gets the best out of their players. A good coach delegates. A good coach does all this stuff, and that's what Nick Sirianni does. Yes, the only flaw Nick Sirianni has is that he is way too involved in the initial scripted plays. I get that, and I know that frustrates people. But the Eagles just win with him. You don't win 8 games in a row by accident. You just don't. You don't win 8 games in a row because, as Doug calls him, he's a clown. That just doesn't happen by accident. All Sirianni does is win. Exactly, K1. And he's fit. I'm looking at the odds board right now. Todd Bowles is 50-1. Jonathan Gannon, the Cardinals, is 25-1 to win Coach of the Year. Dan Quinn, who we beat and changed their season, is 12-1 as the coach. Yeah, I know the Broncos had a big win last night. Sean Payton is 5-1 to win Coach of the Year right now because he's a big name. But all Nick Sirianni does is win, and he gets no respect. And I think the lack of respect on the betting board actually comes from the Eagles fans not appreciating him. Because they know the only person that votes for Coach of the Year are your own team's fans. And maybe the degenerates. No Eagles fans are voting for Nick Sirianni to win Coach of the Year. But he should be in that conversation. I'm not saying he's having the best year coaching out of all of them. But let me tell you something. He should be in the conversation. Sirianni is the reason why our Ferrari engine offense drives like a Ford Fiesta that needs to be. What is wrong with our offense? We didn't score the first 2 drives on Sunday. The Ravens are a pretty elite team and have a really great defense. Yeah, the scripted plays didn't work. They got off of them. And Kellen Moore called a great game the rest of the game. It does not make Nick Sirianni a bad coach. It means he has one flaw, and that's that initial burst out of the gate. That's all it is. But he's got this team believing that even if they start slow, that they're never out of a game. 44-19. That's what I thought it was. That's what I said. I mean, 44-19, 3 straight years to the playoffs, and a Super Bowl. Find me another coach not named Andy Reid that's active in football that's done this over the last 3 years. Find me one. I bet you'd be hard-pressed to find a coach that's got that winning percentage over 3 years with 3 playoff appearances and a Super Bowl. When the players love your coach, that's all that matters. If they will play for him and we're winning, that's all that freaking matters. Let's say Cole. It's J. Cole. There you go. Cole. I agree with you. There's always talk about losing the locker room and locker room drama. There ain't no locker room drama. Not around Nick Sirianni. Because Nick Sirianni keeps them together. Nick Sirianni has them motivated and convinced that this is a winning team. Making the playoffs every year sucks. It does. It sucks. I mean, It could be better, right? You know, they could win 3 straight. I mean, unless you win Super Bowl every single year like Andy Reid, you can't get any respect. Sirianni will never win coach of the year because Philadelphia, no one likes us and we don't care. Just the one thing about that, Mister, no one likes us, we do care, is what I like to say. I do want to be liked. There's no reason this offense can't even get a field goal in that first quarter. How does a team this talented not score in the first quarter? Sometimes it is on the Eagles coaching. Sometimes it's on the script. Sometimes it's just that the other team has a great defense too, Doc. And I knew if a game was closer, we lost, everyone would be frustrated with the Eagles after Sunday. People forget. Baltimore is a great football team. They were in the conversation for Super Bowl contender before that game. They still probably are. Lamar Jackson's still an MVP frontrunner. I would put a $5 on Sirianni coach of the year knowing that I'm going to lose the $5. Well, he's not going to win it. Let's be honest. But that odds number shows the lack of respect he gets. You could reach up and knock it down, but no blanket chip. Let Andrews grab the tutty. Completely off topic, as always, from you. And I love it. We have a top 5 offense and I like how you put 2 E's in there. The top D. If he was bad, that wouldn't be the case. Absolutely. And yes, some credit goes to him working so well with Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is doing a phenomenal job. Kellen Moore, we got to find a way to keep him in Philadelphia after this season. I'm already hearing the Chicago Bears rumors of him being the front runner for that job. We got to find a way to keep Kellen Moore here in Philadelphia. 100%. But yeah, that doesn't happen by accident, Cole. Getting Barkley doesn't make you coach of the year. I see. We have literally scored 2 times in the first quarter of all the games we have played this season. Yeah, and that's not good, Duck. But we are 10-2. First place in our division, second place in the conference. The second favorite, I think, to win the Super Bowl at this point. So this goes back to last year, the ugly wins, and we were complaining about how they were winning last year. This is even a better team than last year. And we're still finding ways to criticize Nick Sirianni, and it doesn't make sense to me. If Nick was fired, a bunch of teams would go after him. Hard to argue with the record. We've had this conversation before, Mike, on this show. Would he get a job immediately or not? I think the answer is yes at this point. 44-19, 3 straight playoff trips, a team that loves you. There's a lot of teams in the NFL right now, a lot of cities that would welcome Nick Sirianni with open arms right now. Fan base would rather have Doug's offense because Greg Ward and Fogan produced, and they were great underdog stories. I like that comment, Marsha, and they love the underdog story. They don't like being the front runner. They don't like being good. They want to surprise people. The only reason we were a top 5 offense is because he had to be told to sit the F down and stop messing with the offense. I don't think he had to be told. I think it was just part of the plan. And you know what? It's not like we're running Kellen Moore's offense either right now, Duck. Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni, they've got Saquon Barkley. Neither of them are run-first offensive minds. They both want to throw the ball a great deal. They got Saquon Barkley. They're utilizing Saquon Barkley. They're utilizing their weapon. Nick Sirianni's doing his job as the CEO to keep everybody else on the same page. Look, AJ. Look, Devontae. Look, Jalen. Your numbers are going to suffer, but we're going to go with what works. It's part of the coach's job, too. Being 10-2 for 3 straight years is such a pain. I know. I mean, we could be the Sixers. I mean, now if Nick Sirianni was coaching the Sixers, we'd have a different conversation. But, I mean, it could, why can't we be happy with what we got? And this is the thing. I knew this was going to drive a conversation bringing this topic up to start the show. Because I know there's a lot of different opinions on Nick Sirianni. But I don't understand why we can't give Nick Sirianni the credit that he rightfully deserves at this point. It's just like Howie. There's a bunch of sociopath fans in Philly that just say, look, you can talk about Howie, how great of an offseason he had, how his drafts the last 3 years have been phenomenal. But then someone will say, but in 1947, he drafted this kid out of Westchester University and he was a bust. Holding on to the negative. I like to embrace the positive versus the negative. That's just me. Even crap teams, we can't score in the first quarter. All right. And that is his one flaw. I get it. I understand that. But that one flaw does not make him a clown of a coach. That one flaw does not make him a problem. The fact that he's able to take that one flaw and still win football games regularly at a very high percentage. K1, what's 44-19? What's that win percentage? Like 65%? All the teams we beat are not great enough. Imagine if we lost, though. Exactly, Marshawn. How much of our schedule has a even top 10 D? I go through it every single week, and we have faced some really strong Ds over the weeks. Sorry, not years, weeks. I mean, the Ravens defense was the second best rush defense in football going into the week last week, averaging only 77.9 yards per game, and Saquon Barkley put up another 100 spot on them. I believe it was the first 100 spot that great Ravens rush defense gave up all year. They got multiple all-pros on their defense in Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith, and we basically made them look like nothing. Howie should win Executive of the Year again. He should. He absolutely should, Michael. 1,000%. Baun, Becton, Cooper, Mitchell, above. Hey, look, we're going to have a Mekhi Becton conversation in a little bit. You know why? Because I put out a tweet about Mekhi Becton after the show yesterday, and I can't believe how many people tried to tell me Mekhi Becton sucks. I'm not lying. Seriously. So we're going to get into a Mekhi Becton conversation in a minute here. The top D. We are the top D. Relax, Phil. It's the NFC. Oh, just the conference with the two best teams in football. Literally, the O-line had to tell him to sit the F down and to run the ball. He didn't see and had to be told. But that's what makes a great coach. That's what makes a great manager, a great leader. Hey, I'm doing my thing. But you know what? I trust my players to have, with this open door policy, to tell me what they think. Okay? You're looking at it as a negative. I look at this as a positive. This is what we wanted Nick Sirianni to do. Have this open door CEO type role where everybody can have a say. I look at this and I think this is perfect. Exactly what we needed. Exactly what we wanted. Fan base confused, Phil. When we win, they say the competition sucks, but when we win ugly, they say a win is a win. Yeah. You have another good team in the NFC now. Lions, Ravens, mid. Okay. All right. Dougie P is well loved. Where is he? Dougie P? Here's the question for you. Who's a better head coach? Doug Peterson or Nick Sirianni? Doug Peterson's got the Super Bowl, but that might have been a one-hit wonder. Right now in the NFL, Nick Sirianni's running laps around Doug Peterson as a coach. Tampa, Dallas, New Orleans, all top. Yep. I mean, Tampa somehow magically has beaten every top team, and they're so mid. Maybe if the Lions O-line told their coach not to go for it last year, they would have won. Yeah. Good morning, Big Al. How are you? I've been eating crow lately on Nick Sirianni. Good. Accept it. Accept it for what it is. Baltimore was number 2 on run defense when we played them. Yes, they 77.9 yards per game. And we put up over 120 rushing yards against them. He was told by Howie at the beginning of the season that this was Moore's offense and that he's not calling plays anymore. That's your boss telling you to do your job and stop messing around. If he wasn't supposed to be calling plays, he wouldn't be scripted in the first place. Philly fans are never happy. We don't consistently win to have this whiny attitude. That's truth. That's truth, Marshawn. Nick is a good fit in Philly. The players like him. But, yeah. Dallas or New Orleans is not a top 10 defense. They got scored on more. When we played them, they were ranked in the top 10. Ravens are known to have garbage defense. Okay. The crap that comes out of his mouth makes him a clown coach. I don't think it does. I think it helps motivate his team. I think it helps keep the team together. His words of wisdom, the team respond to. Even Freddie Burns is a believer now. But you can only play who's on your schedule, so who cares? Yeah, I mean, you can only play the teams in front of you. Wait, so when the offense is rolling, it's Kellen's offense, but when they can't score, it's Nick's call. I get the hate because he was a clown, but his record don't lie. Exactly. So when the going was tough and sluggish at the beginning of the year, 2-2, almost 3-1 with that one Saquon Barkley drop. When the going was tough in the beginning of the year, it was 100% Nick Sirianni's fault. Now that we have rattled off 8 wins in a row, looking at the Panthers, maybe 9 wins in a row here, it's got nothing to do with Nick Sirianni. It's all Kellen Moore. It's all Vic Fangio. And while Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio deserve assistant or coordinator coach of the year awards, Nick Sirianni gets no credit. That's the way it is with coaches and quarterbacks. You get the respect. You get criticized when the going gets tough, but you get none of the praise. Jalen Hurts ain't getting any praise for the 8 wins in a row. You got 5 easy games left. I wouldn't call them all easy. Welcome to Negadelphia. Yep, exactly. I'd rather have Becton than Steen. So there's a little sidebar, and there's a lot of comments still to get to. But everyone keeps talking about Zack Baun and how Howie Roseman needs to lock him up long-term immediately. And I agree. Zack Baun, we're going to talk about Defensive Player of the Year award odds and how crazy Baun is on that list. Zack Baun's playing great. But Mekhi Becton needs to be a priority for Howie Roseman now, not even in the offseason, now. And I got told I was an idiot for thinking that because he's replaceable and Tyler Steen can be fine. And you got this, they drafted whatever the other guy's name, Keegan or Kennard and whatnot. Mekhi Becton is a massive unit on that offensive line. He's a 12-foot tall, 500-pound man that moves like Saquon Barkley. He's settled in the right guard. He's young, former first-round talent. He's a graduate already in 1 year of Statland University. Why would we let him walk? I know Tyler Steen's nice, and he's filled in good, but you need 6, 7 offensive linemen, not 5. If I'm Howie Roseman, I am prioritizing, and I know Howie Roseman. I would almost think that Howie Roseman might prioritize Becton over Baun because we know he doesn't really prioritize linebackers. We know they prioritize offensive line. I would almost be shocked if on Howie Roseman's big board, Becton priority level is ahead of Baun at this point. Mekhi Becton needs to be and the amount of people that told me I was crazy for saying he should be at the same level as Zack Baun in the priority level, that he was easily replaceable. Forget about all the years that we've had, injured, riddled offensive lines and no depth on the offensive line and issues. Who remembers 2020? When do we start? 17 different offensive line configurations that year. When we remember the guy fixing his gloves on the field in the play. The fact that so many people are so anti Mekhi Becton and retaining him, I was just in utter shock on that thread. I highly doubt that. Bills haven't faced a defense like the Eagles. The Eagles have a top 5 offense because Howie Roseman finally wised up and got a real running back. Every great season we have that had included a great running back room. Absolutely. The age of the running back is upon us, mister. Doug did the same thing. He had the captains relay the team's concerns to him. Yeah. Open door policy. Just like Phil's where your opinions matters policy. Hey, I respect all your opinions. I do. I don't agree with them all, but I respect them. And this is, remember, Trending in the AM, the only show where your opinions actually matter. You can have a different opinion and come on this show and explain it. I'll give you the time of day. I may disagree with you, but it's the only place where it actually matters. Except Nick actually listens. Nick does listen. Eagles could be second best in NFL if they beat Lions best in the NFL. They are the best in the NFL. Coach of Chargers or Denver coach of the year, depending on who makes the playoffs. Like, I get it. Denver's having a nice story there with Bo Nix as a rookie quarterback. So Sean Payton, whatever. But I don't think the Chargers are doing anything special. I don't think, the Cardinals or the Bucks are anything special that they should be betting odds, which means favorite odds, ahead of Nick Sirianni and the coach of the year. Nick is a better head coach, but that is because he's been told not to call plays. Dougie still calls plays, which is killing him because he's behind the times. I don't think he was told. I honestly think this conversation of he was told to not do something, I don't know if that's 100%. He was maybe encouraged to relinquish the power. He was encouraged to probably say, your way's not working. We're going to bring somebody in. Deal with that. I think it was more a collaborative effort for him not to call the plays. Allen Iverson was beloved, and he was banned from the practice facility because he was traded, or before he was traded. It's a what have you done for me lately business. It really is. And if the Eagles go out and lose to the Panthers on Sunday, we'll be having a show next week that fire Nick Sirianni, right? How can you not be happy with what we saw on Sunday? Physical defense, and we run the damn ball. This is what Eagles fans have wanted for since the Buddy Ryan era, Freddie, like, this is what we wanted. We've got it. And we're still not happy with the coach who's giving it to us. We're finding other people to give the respect to and the credit to, and we're not giving it to the guy that's leading the charge. You know, I don't know where. I just had an idea pop into my head. Have you ever seen the movie Glory? Fantastic Civil War movie. One of my favorite, one of the most underrated movies of all time. Matthew Broderick's the commanding officer. And they go to the final battle scene, and he leads the troops into battle. That's what Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni leads his troops into battle every single Sunday. And he gets none of the respect for it. Lamar Jackson said, my mom cussed me out for missing opportunities to run against the Eagles. Well, good thing for his mama isn't the Ravens. Yeah. You know, something else on that? Did you guys see Lane Johnson talking about how this is how dominant the Eagles are right now and how confident they are? Lane Johnson said after that game, he had never seen an opposing defense call out the plays they were running ahead of time as much as the Ravens were on Sunday. Now, last year that happened, and everyone made fun of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. This year, no one's doing it. They're so confident in what they're doing. Their confidence level has been built up so much that the opposing team says, hey, they're running Saquon Barkley right here. And they do, and they still can't stop them. Hey, we got a slant pattern coming here. They run that slant, throw the ball, still complete it because they're so confident in what they're doing. Should we give them credit for that? I mean, when I heard Lane Johnson talk about, I never heard anybody call out our plays ahead of time so quickly and so frequently and still succeed. Just saying. Our Panthers tough. The Panthers are awful. I forgot to message Mike K. I got to get on that. Time for a year in review. What? Year ain't over yet. I think Nick has finally found what type of head coach he needs to be, but he needs to shut the F up. Duck is really not a Nick Sirianni guy. And Duck, I love you, man. We agree a lot more often than this, but you know, we're gonna disagree on this one today. We are. Eagles beat Packers a top 5. They did. How about that? Lose to Falcons. I don't need you to repeat it. I know. Massive unit. Yeah, exactly. Beat Saints by 3. Becton and Steen both need to re-sign because we still need replacement players who can play multiple positions. Absolutely agree with you. Good morning, Eric. I didn't see you on your birthday. I wrote down notes and you weren't here for your birthday. So happy belated birthday, Mr. Eric, the gatekeeper. Crushed by Bucks. We're just repeating the entire schedule. Steen can play right guard, left guard, and center. Absolutely. Can he play center? I saw somebody else say that Steen can play center. I don't know if I've ever heard that before, but now I've heard 2 or 3 people say that. That's right. Look, I'm just going to pass over some of those. Milton is a goner. Can't keep everyone. Milton Williams. Saw somebody else with the stats at Milton Williams, like pass rush rate or his pass rush win rate is the best in the NFL based off of snaps played. You might be able to keep him. There's about 32 million projected right now in cap space for the Eagles. You got Becton, you got Baun, you got Milton Williams. They're your top 3 guys that got to get re-signed. You'll have draft picks to deal with too. How he will maneuver the cap, however he does. We got to talk about Dallas Goedert. It might be time to move on from Dallas Goedert. Yep. Once we went up 2 scores versus the Bengals, I knew we were going to beat everybody. Everybody. Not losing again the rest of the year, right, Joe? By the way, the Saints are terrible. Not Saints, the Bengals. Saints were the hottest team at a time. People predicted us getting smoked by the Saints. They had like a 90-something to 10 like combined for against score when we played them. Inch by the word. We're just paging through all those. Bills got, yeah, exactly. I'm just passing over all these. He's just basically repeating every single game. I'm just keeping it for reals. I think you're just repeating stuff. Bo Nix made some great throws last night. I did not watch the game last night. He and Daniels are well above where you expect rookies to be. Jay Daniels has come down to earth a little bit. This past week, he played really well. But overall, I tried to find the tweet. I couldn't find it. I'm not shocked that Bo Nix is having a solid season. I didn't think it would be this good. But Bo, I thought some of the later guys taken in the first round, like Bo Nix, had a higher ceiling than some of the top picks like Caleb Martin and Jaden Daniels and Drake May. I like the later guys more than the early guys in the draft this past year. So it is nice to see that. No, Nick adjusts on his own, did the same thing with Steichen. He did. He was calling plays, and he passed it off to Shane Steichen. And we went to a Super Bowl with it. How Eagles managed to play all the AFC doo-doo except crap. What? I don't know. I don't care if you hate Nick. Love the Lions or the Bills. Line that shit up and let's see what's what and who's who. Absolutely. Marshawn, I really, truly hope it's Eagles, it's Lions for the NFC crown. I really, truly do. I want to see two great teams battle for the right to the Super Bowl. So bad. Holly told him to be a CEO, head coach. Your boss changed what you do because he saw you can't do it well. Maybe. What's up, Bruce Bryce Harper? In the military, they call it sideways promotion. Yeah. I like the title of this show. Hey, I appreciate it. Love that Nick said tomorrow's a work day after the win. He said it's a work day, and everybody cheered it, and everyone was behind it. Everybody wanted to come back to work immediately. Yes, I know he did. I know. I was just thinking of how he led fearlessly and didn't get the respect he deserved. Okay? It's a fantastic movie, K1. Let's not crush that movie. Something about that movie, whenever it's on, I have to watch it. It's a fantastic movie. Phenomenal cast. Great. I'm happy you always said how you felt. Hey, look, I always speak my mind. Lamar, did you eat your Campbell's Chunky soup? Yeah. Of course he does, Pump Man. Of course he does. We're trying to talk coaching, and the Pump Man's first comment of the day is hurt stinks. I almost feel like this is, yeah, whatever. Anyway, CMC can make all of our calls from his couch this year. Yeah. Guatemala, the food was excellent. That sounds like a good time. Anywhere the food's good is a good place for me. Well, Barkley behind a top 7 O-line. Could you imagine if he was running behind one of the top 3 O-lines? Is he the Eagles not top 3 offensive line? At least run blocking. Steen has never played center. Yeah, so why do people keep telling me that he could play center? And why? K1, everybody, names. Why is he the third string? Like, nothing that I've heard said he's ever done it before. Carter Davis Williams, Ministry of Defense. Yeah, I thought you were going to say Ministry of Darkness right there, but Ministry of Defense. I was thinking The Undertaker right there for a second. I mean, look, I don't think anybody's really given enough credit to Jordan Davis for how he performed on Sunday versus the Ravens. The Ravens rushed 32 times. Jordan Davis was on the field for 13 of those rushes, not for 19. The 13 rushes he was on the field for, the Ravens averaged 3 yards per carry. The 19 he wasn't on the field for, 6.68 yards per carry. That's a huge difference. It's more than double with him off the field than on the field. So Jordan Davis had a really solid game on Sunday. Still got to find a way to get more out of him, more snaps and all. But Jalen Carter, again, played 100% of the snaps until the last play where he just didn't go out for it. Jalen Carter's playing 100% of the snaps week in and week out. And it's kind of insane and mind-blowing to see. And that goes to the Jalen Carter goes back to, he was asked about it in his press conference on Monday, Nick Sirianni, about the conditioning. And he focuses on it because relentless effort is needed. to win football games. And the only way you can have relentless effort is with great conditioning. And that's on Nick Sirianni, getting these guys in shape, getting these guys to buy into the program. But third string when you can only have 50. Okay. So he hasn't played it before, but they list him as a third string center. Gotcha. So he might get some reps in practice here or there. Be passing over receipts, but what? I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I had the Saints beating us 108-21. Probably. That is why great drafts are key, because you can't sign everyone. Zack Baun will be curious to see, because he may. I don't know, Fred. We've talked this a few times. We've touched on it a few times. I don't know how big of a paycheck he commands on the outside market. Because I think some teams will see that maybe he's just a product of the Fangio system, that it was a perfect storm here. I also feel how he will use that in a negotiation. I think he's going to get somewhere between 2 years, $22 million, 3 years, $30 million, somewhere like 10 to 12 a year, 2-3 years, and I think Howie gets it done. That's just me. You know how he ain't paid. The only question is, if you don't sign him, Marshawn, it's what you do. You got Nakobe Dean. Are you ready to turn that second spot over to Trot Jr.? And I don't know about that. But I think it's more likely if only one of him or Becton got signed, Howie will spend the more money on Becton over Baun, because we know what he thinks of linemen versus linebackers. Michael Jackson, Dane Jackson, Jason. It does feel a little different with Baun compared to other linebackers, though. It does. Eagles made me so proud. Now everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon. I think we give up touchdown late to games just so we can remain under the radar. Yeah, people only look at the final score. They don't look at the game. Nick's greatest ability is delegating responsibilities. I mean, I don't even know if that's his greatest responsibility or ability. I think it's motivation. Sorry. Yeah. Phil, I think it's ironic that so many people that wanted to get rid of Nick are now they love him so much. You're starting to see a little bit of change, Bruce. 44-19, 8-game winning streak does that. It's kind of crazy. Phil, we always felt he was the right coach. I mean, I've had my hesitations with him. I was never, you have to fire him, but I've had my concerns with him. I think Baun is way better than Edwards. How he can justify paying Baun. Yeah, I agree with that, Duck. I mean, we always said that TJ Edwards played well in 2022. I always said he played okay. It was just the best linebacker we had seen in a while. I think Zack Baun's having a better season than TJ Edwards did 2 years ago, for sure. Will Howie, if it doesn't get done now, before the season ends, and Baun hits free agency, and a team goes out there and offers him 3 years, $40 million, I don't think Howie matches it. But if it's a $10, $11 million deal per year, I think Howie matches it. I think Howie finds the pennies in the cupboard and gets the deal done. Glory, I just love it. It won so many Oscars and awards, and so well done. Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Matthew Broderick, the list goes on and on. What? I don't know who that is. Davis was constantly in the quarterback and running back faces and chased down Lamar. Jordan Davis played phenomenal. I don't think, and this is something about Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter said before the season that he wants to be the leader of this defense. He said, I'm not yet, but I'm going to work to become that. I'm telling you, Jalen Carter's going to have a captaincy on his jersey next year. Jalen Carter, after the game, said, I hope people see how good Jordan Davis was and talk about it. He was deflecting from him and wanted to talk about Jordan Davis instead. And Jordan Davis did have a great game. And Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, I still don't know what they do with Jordan Davis, big picture, long term. But right now, it's a force in the middle. Starting defense tackle Ray was great for Philadelphia. What? Okay. Imagine if they start calling all the holding penalties. I mean, the game would take 6 hours, but they got to do something. The Ravens were the most penalized team in the NFL on holding calls coming in. In 12 games, they had 26 holding calls on them, most in the NFL. There were 0 holding calls against them on Sunday. How does that make sense? How does that make sense, Kayvon? I don't know. Are you receipts? Are you? Water pistol hurts, stinky, but whatever. We're just gonna page over Jalen Hurts hate today. We're gonna page over random comments. I'm still trying to explain to Phil why Elton John is the most over. What? Get the fook out of here. Who invited you to this party? We give up late game touchdowns for gambling degenerates. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Hopefully we'll learn from 23 and not let our top 5 tacklers walk. I hope so. Everyone wanted to get rid of Nick. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Is he? Baun is a dog, but 3 or 30 is 10 a year. No, I said he would walk at 3 like 36 or 3 for 40, but 330 he would take, or how he would do. Rewatched game, Blankenship still stink. Yep, we know that. Where Kazir White and Patrick Robinson are 2 most productive 1-year tenured signings. I mean, I think TJ Edwards was pretty productive in his 1 year. Well, he wasn't a 1-year guy. Was Patrick Johnson ever actually successful? 3 years, 30 million, 25 guaranteed for Baun. Howie and Laurie are scared to spend. I think they would do this. I don't think they would go much past this, Marshawn, but I think they would do this. And I think Zack Baun would be smart to accept this, even if he gets $5 more million elsewhere, because he might not have the same success elsewhere as he does here under Vic Fangio. Glory is based on actual events. Absolutely. It's a true story. 100%. Jordan Davis is being used on run-heavy team to make, yeah, absolutely. And they're not gassing him out so that he's ready to go for the playoffs. Because how do you win the playoffs? Running the football and hard defense. Save Jordan Davis for the playoffs, right? Phil, don't know any Panthers players. I really don't. Well, basically, if they can't call the holding calls on Carter, he's the Shaq of the NFL and just made the Hall of Fame. Basically, yeah, exactly. I like that comparison. Shaq getting fouled down low, hack a Shaq to Jalen Carter. Howie probably thinks between him and Vic that they can find and draft another Zack Baun. That might be a fear of mine, for sure. They couldn't call the foul. They would call a foul on every play then. A.J. Brown's still underutilized. Well, when you have Saquon Barkley, everybody's underutilized. Good morning, Mitchie Poo. I made some accidental dirty jokes early in the show and you missed it. Sorry. I meant to say, ain't scared to spend. Okay. Running back Jonathan Brooks. What? Who? What? Who? You could call the obvious holdings when you throw the flag and then sneak it back in your pocket like a, yeah. They called some and they pulled him back. Exactly. Pretty pathetic. I was pretty close to pushing the red button on Nick, but then we started running. Funny how using your running back has saved this dude twice now. Yeah, absolutely. I know who Xavier Legarrette is. I know who Adam Thielen is. He's on my fantasy team. I know who Chuba Hubbard is. He's not on my fantasy team anymore. Good morning, Todd. How are you this morning? We're talking the coaching staff of this team. The 3-headed monster. And we criticize Nick Sirianni because Nick Sirianni had to change what he does and give the play calling away and this and that. But why don't we give credit to Kellen Moore? Kellen Moore's not doing what he wants. Kellen Moore wants to throw the football too. And Kellen Moore sees Saquon Barkley. Kellen Moore knows that the offensive line told Nick Sirianni to run the ball. Kellen Moore is changing his philosophies for the betterment of the team as well. And that, I think, is something that's going underrated. I really, truly think we talk about we got to keep Zack Baun. We got to keep Mekhi Becton, this guy, that guy, extend this guy, extend that guy. We got to find a way, like Detroit convinced Ben Johnson to stay as offense coordinator. We got to find a way to keep Kellen Moore at least one more year in Philadelphia. Kellen Moore, well, first off, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, and the offense, to get a little consistency. The last time we won a Super Bowl was the last time we had the same offense coordinator back-to-back years. This team needs some continuity in its coaching staff, and they're going to get it with Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio, this is it. Last stop on the train for him. He's already said that. No intentions of head coach. No intentions of leaving until retirement or until we fire him. Kellen Moore wants to be a head coach. But sometimes financially, you could do something to make him say, hey, it might just be better to make, a few bucks less, a few bucks more than I am, but a few bucks less than I would head coach, not have the stress of being head coach, and just be the OC here. I would be Really interested to find out and figure out how you can convince Kellen Moore to just stick around. Does he really want to go coach the Bears? Who else is going to get fired? Does he really want to go back to Dallas and coach there? I don't know who else is going to fire their head coach this year off the top of my head. Let me look at the NFL standings real quick. Are there any coaches on the hot seat? I guess the Browns and Bengals could be. Looking for a coach, the Jags could be. Actually, that might be a intriguing spot with a young quarterback like Trevor Lawrence. You know, where's he going to go? Why would he want to go to some of these dreadful teams? TMC running through the Panthers roster. He runs through just like he just ran through the Eagles game-by-game schedule. Star tight end, what? Then we get to the Philadelphia Stars, too. I never criticize for making changes. I criticize for... This is a comment right here. If he wouldn't change, we'd criticize him. He does change, and we criticize him. Big Al. Spot on. 1,000% accurate comment right here. Nick got out of the way. Things turn around. They all learned. Everybody. The three-headed coaching monster. They all know what they do well, and they all do it well. I mean, it's easy to know most rosters. You just have to hit Google, and it'll tell you. Dr. Fangio, PhD in teaching a young and open-minded players. He treats them like men and expects them to step up like men. Fantastic comment, and very true. Not every person, not every athlete, not every football player can handle the Fangio style of teaching and coaching. You have to be bought in mentally to Fangio and the team. Team ahead of your individual. Okay? I don't think Moore leaves if we don't win the Super Bowl. I think if we make a deep run, there will be teams asking for interviews. But I would love Howie and the Eagles to find a way to make sure he stays. Yes, Fangio's got these guys balling. He's got them believing, Todd. I think that's a big key word there, believing. I think we make Kellen an offer he can't refuse. As long as it's not a horse's head in his bed, yeah, exactly. Moore has gone run heavy when Zeke was good and Dak was still running well. He doesn't like to do it. He doesn't do it often. But he has been smart enough to realize when the time comes, he does it. Refuse. I think Jerry Jones, what's up, Anthony? How are you this morning? Opens up the checkbook for Kellen. Why would he want to go back there? He's already been there. He knows what kind of disaster that organization is. Why would he, someone like Kellen Moore, why would he want his first head coaching opportunity to be a disaster of an organization like that? He knows some of the players there, but why would he want to do that? I don't understand why he would. And honestly, I think that Jerry Jones is going to open up his checkbook for sure. Whether it's for Kellen Moore, whether it's for Bill Belichick, whether our big name coaches are out there, because that's what Jerry Jones does. He overpays for coaches. Jets could be looking, probably. Well, they are looking. I mean, they got an interim coach right now. But why would you want to go there? Like, there's a lot of teams that are there's always 8 coaching openings every year. It'd be better to wait and, and just, wait till the year that there's an opportunity that really fits you. And out here, short leash in Philadelphia with coaches. We were ready to fire Nick Sirianni 8 weeks ago. Maybe he sees this as the opportunity, the place to stay. Because maybe the Eagles lose interest in Nick Sirianni and he just gets that promotion. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be, I want to see that continuity and consistency there. Your brains or your signature. You're only as good as the company you keep. Andy Reid didn't look like much of a genius with Marty Morningwig and Juan Castillo's as assistants. Let's be real and not pretend it ain't a village. Look, yeah, you got to surround yourself. I surround myself with people, and I'm better off when I've got good people around me. Kellen Moore has no choice with Saquon, is undeniably the most talented. Absolutely. Like, literally, there is no choice but to feed Saquon the ball. Kellen has seen the insanity that is Jerry Jones and wants no part of it. K1, you would think. I mean, money does talk, right? Money does talk. Sure. Great. Chicago, Jags, Jets, Raiders, all will need a new head coach. Yeah. Some of them have already fired their head coach. So, yeah. I don't know if the Cowboys will fire McCarthy. They should. Well, I hope they don't, but they probably should. Coaching money is not part of the cap. Just exactly. It's not. And that's fine. But like Ben Johnson, is it Ben Johnson? Brian Johnson? Ben Johnson in Detroit, he had opportunity. He could have gotten any of the coaching jobs this offseason if he wanted. They gave him a slight raise, less than he would have made as head coach, slight raise, and he got to stay in Detroit for another year and didn't go to any of those disaster organizations that were interested in him. Sometimes just being the offensive coordinator for a little extra longer, continue to work on you. I mean, Kellen Moore's still what, only like 40 years old? He's got plenty of time to be a head coach. Thank you very much, Anthony. Nothing but love for you, my man. Guys, you're watching Trending in the AM, the best morning show in Philadelphia. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. There's over 25 people watching the YouTube room right now. So if you got comments, get them in. I'll get them to you. We're talking Eagles coaches and putting respect on their names. We're talking Eagles. Later in the show, I want to bring up the really dumb baseball rule that might be a genius move, but might be super dumb, that Rob Manfred might be trying to institute. We'll get into that in about a half hour, 20, 30 minutes here when we close the show. But guys, like, subscribe, share. I'd greatly appreciate it. Tell a friend, tell one, tell all. This is where you got to be every single morning talking Philadelphia sports. Why go back? Cash money, bro. Exactly. Jerry Jones is in his own way. Good. Let him stay in his own way. Yeah, Dobb will probably get fired too. He'll get another opportunity. He'll first be an offensive coordinator somewhere, and then he'll get another head coaching opportunity someday. Who wants to return to Jonestown once you get out alive? Yeah, you got out alive. Didn't ruin your reputation. Yeah. Who's to say JJ hasn't already burned the bridge? Exactly. That's what I was kind of thinking. It's kind of where I was at. Phil, you give piano lessons for meatballs? What? What does that even mean? Sirianni is built for Philly. Loud, obnoxious, and a motivator. I like this comment. He is built for Philly. He is loud. He can be obnoxious at times, and he's a motivator. Todd, this is, dude. No offense to other shows, no other days, but this chat is on fire. We've got a great mix of agreeing and disagreeing. We got some phenomenal one-liners from Todd and Big Al and Marshawn and K1 today, dude. This chat is on fire today. I love this comment today. Preach. Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to put it back up there again. He is loud. He commands attention. Okay? He motivates his players to believe. Yeah, he's obnoxious at times, but in a confident, good way. I love it. All right, so that means we gained one more subscriber during the show. We're at 261. Mitchie wants us to get to 269 so bad. I want to get to 500. So, guys, please, if y'all just find a way. What can I do more than already dedicating all my time to you guys to get you all to go out there and find me 5 subscribers today? There's 25 people watching. If all 25 of you each found me 5 new subscribers, what can I do to convince you to do that? What can I do for you guys to walk around at Wawa and tell everybody in line at Wawa to subscribe? What do I got to give you other than my time to get that? Come on, guys. Hook a brother up. Let's go. Fangio's philosophy is the best thing that could have happened for our young defensive players. See, yeah, I agree. But Howie had to bring in the right mindset people to fit Fangio's coaching philosophies and styles. You know, I'm just trying to randomly think. Someone like Hassan Reddick wouldn't have bought into Fangio's coaching style. Someone like, I don't know off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of players from the last 10 years that were stubborn, that wouldn't have fit and listened and believed. Dude, I'll throw a pizza party for everybody. Anybody in the Core 12 that wants to come to my pizza shop, free pizza for all of you if we get to those subscriber numbers. I'll throw the biggest pizza party in the world for the Core 12. I'll even do a live show from the pizza shop with the Core 12. I would give you all free pizza all the time. But you got to get those subscriber numbers up. But back to this comment here. Sorry. Yeah, are there players in the past 10 years that wouldn't have bought in? Because I think that's very important. Learn more about other teams. I do the research every single goddamn week. Can I get some pizza? All right, put that one up there. What's up, Eric? How you doing today? I hope you are doing better than the negative Saturday. Oh, are you Eric? You're from Kennett. Did you see how that community thread that I was being blamed for it? some random lady DM'd me and said that me and my kid should be embarrassed of the way I acted, and then tagged my pizza shop and my wife all over it. First and foremost, I don't have kids. I was working and not at the parade. I was in the shop. And yes, Eric, some random lady on the Kennett community page blamed me and said it was all me and I was the worst thing at Kennett Square and spread it all over the place. And when I said it wasn't me, I don't even have kids, I got a thumbs up from her, and that was it. And she just kept doing it over and over and over again. Crazy insanity at the pizza shop. Free pizza giveaway for subs. Yeah. I'll give away free pizza. Sure. Unless you actually make subs. I do make hoagies. I make a great way. We toast ours. We toast ours. By the end of the year, you have close to 500 subscribers. Bet you a pizza. I want to get to 500 by the end of the year. That's the goal. I think that's a realistic goal. It's 239 people have to subscribe to this channel by the end of the month. Dude, let's have a big pizza party if we get there. Jason Blabbin would Babin. Oh, man. That was a little further back than I was thinking. But, yeah, absolutely. If Eagles beat Jonestown Community Church, Phil be like, stop. Wait, how we get free pizza? We get to that 500 subscriber mark by the end of the year. We'll have a big pizza party. Mitchie, Fecal Matter, a.k.a. Feces Bitch. What? Oh, you're from Jersey? You just learned about how bad Kennett was? Phil, not Duke. What? You want me to make that lady a pair of cement shoes? Yeah. She needs to be sleeping with the fishes. Yeah. That's all I need is people out there telling people that I'm an awful human being and stuff like that. When I wasn't even there, I am an awful human being. I'm a terrible person. I know that. I've been told that many times in my life, and I'll get told I'm a terrible person 100 more times. I know that, but I sleep well at night. I know who I am, but I wasn't that negative of that bad, that bad person specifically that they were talking about. I could see 500 by then. Well, it's a huge get. That's fine. I'm gaining like 5 to 7 every single week, 10 a week. It's a tough ask, but we're working on it. I did an Eagles pregame show this past week, and you didn't tune in. So there you go. Kennett Square has a huge horse hospital. They do. That's where Smarty Jones went. It's New Bolton Center. I deliver there regularly. They love their pizza for their meetings and their parties. It's where Smarty Jones went. And what was the other one? Barbasol? No, not. What was the other one that went there that got hurt? But yes, New Bolton. It's where Smarty Jones went. See, I know my horse racing a little bit too. Well, Karen's Mad Chatter spread words, okay, that people believe. Tell her to drink some Schuylkill Punch, yeah. Will Cliff Harris be put in the mix now that he's time to acclimate? I don't think so. I think he's a depth piece at most, okay? Jose, this is why Vic Fangio didn't want people at the trade deadline. Jelix Hunt played phenomenal in his increased role on Sunday, even in the run game. Nolan Smith and Josh Sweat played more. You might get a play or two out of them, but you're not going to get much. They're going to roll with those 3 guys. They're just going to tighten up their rotation. Jose, that's my opinion. I think the bigger question now is, what do we do with Dallas Goedert? Dallas Goedert, they confirmed yesterday it's a minor. They're hoping it's a minor knee sprain. They're listing him right now as week to week. We'll know more Wednesday or Thursday. But they might even put him on short-term IR. The Eagles cut Paris Campbell yesterday. Why? Because your EJ Jenkins and CJ Uzma are out of practice squad elevations. One of them's going to have to get signed to the active roster to fill in Dallas Goedert's spot. And the question is, in the offseason, what is Howie Roseman going to do with Dallas Goedert? He's already missed 19 games in the last 6 years. 20 on Sunday. Okay? That's more than a season's worth of missed games from Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert is a great tight end, but you can't help the club from the tub. It'll be his 4th game missed on Sunday this year. That'll be 4, 3, 5, 2, 5, 1 over the last 6 years. So I'd be more concerned about that than what they're doing on the defensive line. It's the WIP bats spreading misinformation. Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. Barbaro was the other one. Okay, yeah. Fans be on YouTube in mass. They do. And they just don't find their way because I don't shout out crazy hot takes. Well, saying Nick Sirianni's great might be a hot take. I thought it was Charles Harris. I didn't want to call anybody out for that. I didn't want to be wrong, so I just let him roll with it. I mess up enough names, K1. I don't need to call somebody else up for messing up a name. They always cut Paris and re-sign. Yeah, Paris Campbell will be back eventually. I'm sure, for sure. Goddard is hardly healthy. Goddard's never healthy, Eric, and it's a problem. Move on from in the tub Goddard. Absolutely. Look, I love Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert's a great football player. He's a strong tight end. But the fact that we've never really developed, I mean, Grant Calcaterra is slowly developing, but I don't know if we could make Grant Calcaterra the number one tight end and consider tight end a strength. Then on the flip side, you've spent money on A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Maybe you don't want to spend big money on a tight end. I don't know what Dallas Goedert's contract situation is after this season. But they definitely need to invest in the tight end position because here we are. Pre-game when they outmassed it. Look, I did a pre-game show on Sunday. You didn't join. My bad. Oops, it's all good. I mess up more names than anybody. We are on mass in general. I got with an argument with a guy on Allen MVP lock, and I made my point, and he called me slow and stated quarterback make more money. Then I went off. Yeah, look, we could talk about the NFL MVP award. Just call it the quarterback award. We could talk about Defensive Player of the Year award. It's basically who gets the most sacks gets that award. Jalen Carter's 14th on the list of Defensive Player of the Year. Way too low, 50-1. Zack Baun isn't going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but he's 29th on the list at 100-1. Zack Baun, when Luke Kuechly won Defensive Player of the Year in 2013, got the notes here. Through 12 games, Zack Baun's got more tackles and more sacks. Almost as many tackles for losses. A little behind on the interceptions. Zack Baun's playing at an all-pro level, should be in the conversation, but he's not getting it. Leave Goddard alone. He could be Embiid. Joel Embiid's not playing tonight, FYI. Just so you know. There will be no Joel Embiid tonight. Left knee injury maintenance and personal reasons. I really want to know why they're adding the words personal reasons to why he's missing games. What are the personal reasons that he's got? He just don't want to play. I'm just not sure why Aeneas Smith is on the active roster. Yeah, look. That's a Howie flaw. Howie drafts guys and can't get rid of them. I was ready if he came back to me with actual number versus other quarterbacks, Burrow and Hurts, who have better numbers. Look, Jalen Hurts, total yards, total touchdowns, total turnovers, neck and neck with Josh Allen. Again, Saquon Barkley is overshadowing how good of a season Jalen Hurts is actually having, Doc. He's actually having a really good season. And I know his numbers don't look flashy, 11 for 19, 120 yards. He's not turning the ball over. He's making smart throws. He's making good throws. And he just doesn't have to make any more throws because Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is it. They drafted a tight end in the second round. Second, third round, yeah, they're going to have to. They're going to have to go with Calcaterra and another tight end. They're going to have to consider moving on from Dallas Goedert in the offseason. It's the name most important, yeah. Tyler Warren, yeah, I remember he had that big game a few weeks ago. But I think, isn't he going to be like a first-round kind of talent? I doubt the Eagles will use a first-round pick on a tight end with where our offense is. That first-round pick will probably be used on the defensive line this upcoming offseason, wherever it ends up. It'll be an offensive lineman, in my opinion. It's called pray. They are praying. You've put this out there into existence a few times. Consider calling Joel Embiid on this. I don't know. There's no rumors on this. This is just simply an opinion from you. You haven't seen it, K1? Nooms has made that hot take alert a few times. Hurts also has better QBR than Allen and Burrow. Has better yards, but total yards, rushing and passing, they're on the same plane. Yeah, you've been saying this for a little while, Nooms. I don't get into those kind of conspiracy theories. Could it be true? Sure. Is it true? Maybe, maybe not. I just think he's already told them he doesn't want to play here. He's done. He's played 4 games so far this year. It's pathetic. Just shut him down. Just tell the fan base instead of game by game. It's a money grab. I know that. Personal reasons do sound sketch. Sounds like somebody just doesn't want to play. I hope so too. I wish they shut Embiid down indefinitely. So yeah, exactly. Wish they would have given him the extension sooner so they could just trade him and be done with him. Josh Allen is the only quarterback that will be consistent. Yep, absolutely. I see where you're coming from. Weight loss with muscle loss and lethargy. Now we're trying to actually think about it. I don't even know how to respond to it because I don't want to speculate on something like that. He is butthurt from the city being on him. He doesn't want to be here. I truly, Todd, think Joel Embiid does not want to be here. Plain and simple. And if he didn't sign the extension when he did, so late in the offseason, then he would have already asked for a trade. If he would have signed it earlier or not at all, he would already have asked out. But there's NBA rules that you can't trade a player until 6 months after they sign a deal. He signed the deal. The 6 months ends literally like 5 days after the trade deadline. If I was the Sixers, I'd be trying to call Adam Silver and be like, yo, can we get some kind of, reprieve from this? Can we get some kind of, extra ruling here to get 5 days or whatever? And the last minute status is, practicing pharmaceuticals without a license. I mean, they drug test people too, so I doubt it. One thing of many that I love about the Eagles squad is that they can give 2 craps about stats, just wins. Absolutely, Jose. And that comes from the top. That comes from Nick Sirianni setting the stage for what the mentality of this team is, setting the culture. And Saquon Barkley never played on a team like this before. He don't care about the stats. He doesn't care about breaking Eric Dickerson's record or LaShawn McCoy's record, which will break LaShawn McCoy's record this week. He just wants a Super Bowl. Asked about the MVP. I don't care about the MVP. Just want to win a Super Bowl. I don't think I just think he's just frustrated. Maybe he contacted some horrible disease in Paris. I mean, that wouldn't be a surprise, right? But when they deserve their flowers, they should get them. Absolutely. I want to throw one other thing in the conversation. We keep talking Joel Embiid. I do have one Sixers thing I'm pissed off about. Why Jarrett McCain didn't start the last game. He started other guys, and Jarrett McCain came off the bench, and I think it was the mid-third quarter before he took his first shot of the game. That's a Nick Nurse thing right there. But baseball, Rob Manfred, I saw an article randomly last night. Rob Manfred, and he claims he's getting some traction from ownership at the owners' meeting about this new rule he wants to institute. Now, there's not a lot of details about the rule or what it'll be, when it can be used or how it can be used, etc. But he's calling it the golden at-bat rule in baseball. I think it's really interesting. I think it's crazy because I'm an old-school baseball mindset, and I hate changing the tradition of baseball. But on the flip side, I think it's really interesting. So the golden at-bat rule that he's trying to get traction for and add to the game of baseball, that at any given moment in any game, one time a game, you can pinch hit for somebody, but not waste that player. So just say, bottom of the ninth, Phillies are down 4-2, the bases are loaded, the 9-hole is up. And Bryce Harper can just be inserted into that 9-hole or in the 8th inning. But then he goes right back to his 3-hole. It doesn't eliminate him from the game. You can just randomly use any one person from your team to pinch hit one time a game without it changing anything. I guess assuming that they're not on base. He strikes out and you want to use him a second time in a row, you can. One time a game. It's a really, really weird but interesting idea. And I just want to throw it out there. I just read about it last night. Never heard about it. I don't know if I think it's the most genius thing in the world or the most insane thing in the world, but it's something that's out there. They're constantly trying to make baseball better and different. And I will say this. I'll give Rob Manfred credit for the creativity in a potential rule change like that. It's called laziness. Yes, laziness. If it's depression, talk to Lane Johnson. You know, I would not be, I've said this before, Nooms, that every athlete in sports should be required to see a sports psychiatrist. I would not doubt that Joel Embiid's got some mental issues going on. Dealing with the pressure, dealing with the injuries, dealing with the fans, dealing with the media. Would not be shocked if there's some depression involved there. And maybe Lane Johnson should reach out to Joel. That's why the French language has so many words like fatigue. Yeah. You and both know depression is a symptom of pain meds. Yeah. 2 words that we only use when we see a doctor in this continent. Yep. Terrible idea. Leave the effing game alone. It's not a video game. Look, I agree. I'm old school, Rick. I didn't like banning the shift. I still hate the fact that you can't shift on defense. It's like taking away zone defense in the NBA or single high safety in the NFL. Whatever. Just making up random things. But I'll give them credit for trying to get creative. But it's either going to be a genius idea or a terrible idea, and I can't figure out which one. All of that is cool, but the important topic is the rep belief between Kendrick and Lil Wayne over the Super Bowl halftime show. Is that what it is? Baseball managed to make it 150 years through 2 world wars, famine, pandemic, and many, many more things. It's great how it is. Leave it be. Well, they're constantly changing it. Okay, constantly making changes. To the game, to speed it up, make it more enjoyable to the new fans in the world, trying to bring in new fans. And I get why, as a business owner, why they want to do it. But something like baseball just shouldn't be changed like they are. 100% a symptom, and a major cell medicating factor for 20% of the population that gets the rewarding effect of opioids. Look, Nooms has really got you guys believing this. When did they ban the shift? I didn't even notice. They banned the shift like 2 years ago. Can't shift. You got to have 2 defenders on each side of the second base at all times. Easy to rationalize when you're being. Look, I don't want to get too much into this right now, guys. The Joel Embiid and the random idea that Nooms has. I think we're going down a rabbit hole that we just got speculation on. We're going down a rabbit hole that there's just an idea of, but not really. Depression is a symptom of CTE. Lane is a football player, and Embiid has had injuries too. That's fair. It's a symptom of small attention span generation. Absolutely agree, Rick. It's the social media era, etc. For sure. I'm totally. I can't believe you guys. He said this in the chat many times in the past, and no one's picked up on it other than me. Embiid will not play in 2024. He will play when he is healthy enough to put on a showcase and trade in the offseason. Yeah, Big Al, I agree. I don't think he should play at all 2024, 2025. But I think there'll be a point late in the season that he'll play 5 games. He'll pull Elton Brand with the Clippers, played 12 games at the end of the season. Then the Sixers gave him a max deal, and he was washed at that point after he had torn his Achilles with the Clippers. That's what you all do. And he'll convince some team to trade for him. Baseball is still living off the hype of Ken Griffey Jr. Bet you Ken Griffey Jr. can still get a base hit in baseball. I can now. Nooms has got some of you guys laser focused on this idea. I just don't want to. What's the right word? I just don't want to push something that's more. It's too much. I'm trying to think of a legal word to do it, but yeah, no. I just don't want to get too much into it. How they even built that Sixers stadium. What a joke of a team. Look, I agree. Got to strip it down. I got crushed. I put out a tweet. Fire everybody. Cut everybody. Just strip it down. Start over. Build around Maxey and McCain. Fire Nurse. Fire Morey. Fire Brand. Trade Embiid in the offseason, even if it's pennies on the dollar. Trade Paul George at the trade deadline. Call Golden State, who already wanted him. Just get rid of it. Restart. Reset button. Yeah, Embiid doesn't think he is a problem. Everybody else is. That's an attitude issue. Joel Embiid is a guy. We spent a lot of the show talking about the Eagles coaches. We talked a little bit of Vic Fangio. Joel Embiid's the type of player that would never succeed under the type of coaching that Vic Fangio does. He would never succeed in that situation. We need more attention on the bias officiating versus the Eagles. Said it yesterday. I'll say it again. It's a tongue twister, Eric. The Eagles' opponents are the least penalized opponents of any team's opponents in the NFL. If you follow that logic, you get it. And it's not even close. I picked up on Nooms. I just didn't put it all together, but I've seen pictures recently, and it lines up. It's a theory Nooms has. I'm going to reserve making a point on it or a comment on it because I think it's just a theory, and that's it. I think Embiid deserves a standing ovation. If Trey Turner gets one, so should Embiid. The guy is crying out for help. He might be crying out for help. I didn't believe in giving Trey Turner a standing ovation or the Eagles, that little thing yet last year. Like, I'm not into the standing ovation thing. But he might be crying out for help. He might need help. Irresponsible for me to speculate, but I have been there already and know what it looks like. Well, I'm glad it's 19 years behind you. And news we could talk after the show or in private about that. Because I've had my demons as well. The Eagles will not win a Super Bowl until Embiid is traded. Gotcha. Then we're not winning this year. Damn it. I want us to trade PG to the Lakers so bad. I think Golden State already wanted him. They just couldn't make a deal with the Clippers. I think we could get rid of Paul George. Find it. Get it. Done. Move on. National broadcasters have pointed it out, and they aren't going to do anything about it. I think Embiid deserves a standing ovation. If Trey Turner gets... Oh, somehow your comment came up twice. Who makes the better crawfish fish combo? Okay, enough of Embiid. Exactly. Move on from Embiid. Move on from the Sixers. Dude, I didn't even watch the Sixers game the other night. I chose. There was nothing else on TV. I chose not to watch the Sixers game the other night. I made a conscious effort to put Flyers and, hell, even Survivor Series on before the Sixers. He should get an ovation if we're going to do it with Trey. Help him out somehow, I guess. If we just ignore talking about him. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 150 plus. He's going to break the McCoy record on Sunday. The Panthers are the worst rush defense in football. I haven't done my stat research yet, but I believe they said they're giving up a little over 160 yards per game on the ground. Adam Schefter was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and said he fully expects Smitty to play on Sunday against the Panthers. With Dallas Goedert out, more likely. He almost played on Sunday against the Ravens. They were just being extra cautious. So, yes, I fully expect Devontae Smith to play on Sunday. In a society where we are finally starting to realize the importance of mental health, we now see an opportunity to help build a guy up instead of breaking him down. I think you're fantastically right on that. And I do believe in helping people with mental issues like that. My beard is angry? What? Not on mine. Saquon is going for 200 this week. Eagles defense will force multiple turnovers. The Eagles will have a huge lead and just run the ball. Yeah, I think they're going to have a huge lead, and I think that Saquon's not going to get to 200 yards because he's just going to be rested. He might not touch the ball in the second half. I forgot to text him, but I'll text him today, and hopefully he'll be on Thursday. Kenny Gainwell he could. He probably could. Barbara, good morning to you. How are things here at Eagles Central? Well, we got the final 10 minutes here. But we're pretty happy here in Eagles Nation. The Sixers, yeah, pretty much. I'd rather watch reruns of Deciding Women than watch a Sixers game. I will say I did finish between Friday and Saturday. We watched the entire season 1 of Alex Cross, new TV show on Prime. Good, not great is my official breakdown of that show. Good, not great. The Morgan Freeman movies were better. The actor that played him was better than Morgan Freeman portrayed him. I could go on the Alex Cross TV show a little bit if you wanted. Wedding singer gave piano lessons for meatballs. What? Okay. I agree. It was helped so many of my friends and family over the last few years. Shocked when they started talking about their therapies. Yeah. Yeah, Dallas Goedert got hurt quietly at the very end of the game. He will miss at least the next week. And I'm far behind on comments today. I'm bored. There's no competition. There you go. There's no competition in this morning show. No, Smith doesn't need a roster spot. It was a roster spot opened up to bring one of the tight ends to the active roster because EJ and CJ don't have any elevations left. Devontae Smith wasn't on the injured list, so his roster spot's still there. Paris Campbell's cut because of the tight end situation. I think you will get a steady diet against them. Yes, absolutely agree. Another season-ending injury. I don't think it's season-ending. I don't think they think it is. Kenny G will get 100 because Barkley will get his 100 and sit. Agreed. I love designing women. Great show. What? Agreed on Alex Cross. It was a good show. It was a little too cliche for me and not enough directly related to the books. But it is what it is. Embiid is going to play Morgan Freeman. What? I have so many streaming services. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Not Medea's Alex Cross. No. Alex Cross, there's a new show on Prime. Season 1 of it just was released and we watched it all. It was good. It wasn't directly, it was a fresh story versus one of the book stories. They did bring in like a lot of the background from the books, and the actor playing Alex Cross in the TV show resembles Alex Cross a lot more than Morgan Freeman did in the movies. I just think the movies were better acted and written than the TV show. Great actor. I've never seen him before. Never seen anything he's done before. I was looking at his IMDb profile. It said he was in The Walking Dead. I don't know who he was in The Walking Dead. You want a fake ad read? I can give you a real ad read. Lillian's Creation. Lillian'sCreations.com. If you want to get a shirt that says Trending in the AM or the STT Sports Network, well, go over to Lillian'sCreations.com. Send them a message. They have my logos. They can create you a shirt, hoodie, hat, anything you want with the Trending in the AM and STT Sports Network logos on it. I've got a couple t-shirts and hoodies from them already. Fantastic quality, great prices. Check them out, Lillian'sCreations.com. You'll help support the brand and another great local business in Kennett Square. See, there's an ad read for you. Phil, looks like you need rest from the holiday. You seem sluggish. I'm good. Good. Feel okay. You're catching me at the end of an hour and 22 minutes into the show. Embiid should get stem cells injection in his knees. Yeah, where did Kobe go? Germany or something like that? Yeah, ad reads again. That's the stuff, yeah. STT merch, I will buy one. Lillian'sCreations.com. It's a website. You click contact. They're a local business in Kennett Square. She makes shirts, hats, hoodies. Contact her. She's got my logos on file, and she'll make up whatever you want and send it out to you, okay? Check them out. What a professional. I am a professional. You should all have ad reads by this point. You should all have STT merch by this point. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, not quite, but solid, guys. All right, final 5 minutes of the show. What's on deck the rest of the week? We'll start thinking about the Panthers by Thursday. I'm sure we'll learn more about Dallas Goedert's injury. Brandon Graham had his surgery at 5 a.m. today. He's going to be in a cast for 2 weeks. There's that. I don't think I covered every single thing on my list of notes today. We might talk a touch about the Sixers tomorrow. We'll see how tonight's game goes. We will. We'll get more into the Eagles' defense a little bit more specifically tomorrow. I don't think we covered enough of what I wanted to talk about. Jalen Carter, the leader. Jalen Carter, the eventual captain of this defense. I don't think so. We didn't get into that Mekhi Becton conversation as much as I wanted to because that coaching conversation really, really did take on a life of its own a little bit more than I expected it to. But I really want to get more into the defense tomorrow. Jalen Carter, the sacks, the fact that what was our biggest concern of this team? Getting pressure on the quarterback. You know, since the bye week, the Eagles lead the league in sacks, highest sack rate percentage as well. So it's all things we're going to get into. Bishop Egan. I thought you were going to say Bishop Shanahan, but still, yeah, I get the point. Tulips are going to hit in about like 3 or 4 minutes here. Just so you know. But with that being said, we didn't get into. I have all the stats here. Zack Baun versus Luke Kuechly, Defensive Player of the Year in 2013. And how it's a little closer than you realize. And how Zack Baun should be in that conversation. But he isn't. I watched a little bit of it. I watched overtime. I watched Matvei Michkov score the game winner in overtime. I had it on. Because why wouldn't I? Flyers are quietly putting something together. There's still questions. The fact that they're using 3 roster spots on goalies, they still don't know who the goalie is. I think they got a mixed mash of team, but the players on the team are playing well, despite what you think of John Tortorella. I don't know when it is, but it's a little ways off still, for sure. It helps when you have good and great cornerback and linebackers. Absolutely agree. For sure. Without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, you guys used to make fun of me for saying that too much. The Flyers are such an exciting team. I love what they are building. I still think there's more building to go, but yes, I agree with you, Anthony. Blankenship did have a good game prior to his injury. I actually think Blankenship had his worst game of the year on Sunday before he got hurt. I think he was lost out there, in my opinion, Jose. We can get into Reed Blankenship tomorrow. When Trump get inaugurated, he's going to release the UFO files. I was wondering where this comment was going until I read the full comment. If the Flyers ever get a goalie, they will be dangerous. That's all it is. Got to get a goalie. Don't jinx the Flyers here. I'm not jinxing them. I mean, I'm watching them. I'm not going to talk about them. I made the new header with orange for the Flyers. But that's it. I'm trying not to talk them. I don't want to jinx them. I don't want people to know I'm paying attention. Stop with that. You drive me nuts with that comment. Does anyone see Chiefs making it? The NFL will do whatever they can, Eric, to get the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl. They will. They want Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. But I don't think they're the best team. I don't even think I think they're maybe the 5th best team in the NFL right now. I'll release the Anyway, with that being said, guys, it's about wrap up time here. It's about time to call it a day. We'll be back tomorrow. More Eagles talk. Lots more Eagles talk for sure. Maybe a touch of Sixers talk. Maybe. I'm just waiting for one of these days the Phillies to make a major move so we can talk about the Phillies. I just am. The NFL wants Mahomes to break Brady's record, and they want Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. But Colin was better than Blankenship. Blankenship has been lost. Yeah, I agree. I think he's been a little lost lately. No more value. Time to wrap this shebang up. It's time to close it down for the day. It's closing time. Guys, with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in. Please hit that like button, subscribe button, and share button. Let's get to 500 if you want the pizza party. A pizza party if we get to 500 by the end of the year, guys. That's what we'll do. Everybody have a great day. Go Birds, and bubbles up to y'all.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop,